Hello, dear. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. Welcome to Jewels and Pearls Ladies channel. In this channel, we are all about raising young girls, preparing them for a future of work, education, career, and every other thing they want to become in life. So, welcome here. Today, I want to examine a topic that is kind of common among teenagers. And what is that? Should an 18-year-old be in a relationship? I will leave you to judge because I will give you points. You will decide at the end of the day. Let's go on this journey. Welcome back. So, my question to you earlier was, should an 18-year-old go into a relationship? What do you think? What are your thoughts? Now, these are the points I have. Then you make the choice at the end of the day. Number one, maturity. Is an 18-year-old mature? Is an 18-year-old able to take all the decisions concerning their lives on their own without support? Is an 18-year-old mature in different areas of life? Let's look at number one, emotional. Is an 18-year-old mature concerning her emotions or his emotions? Does he know how to control his anger? Does she know how to control her lovey-dovey kind of thing? Can they handle heartbreaks? Can an 18-year-old go through a relationship such that somebody is not calling them and they won't be worried? They won't be all, shaky because the guy is not calling them or the girl didn't respond to their text message. Can an 18-year-old handle that pressure, that emotional pressure? Okay, let's also look at maturity in terms of financial. Can an 18-year-old actually sponsor their partner in the academics? Can they pay their school fees? Or some people will argue and say some can pay. But what's the percentage of the sum that can pay compared to those that can't pay? So for an 18-year-old, do they really have financial maturity, or their parents are still paying their bills, right? So why are you in a relationship at 18? I leave it for you to judge, right? The third part of maturity. Can an 18-year-old have academic maturity to handle a relationship? What do I mean by that? If she has lectures, let's say an 18-year-old, she just gained admission into the university. Let's say she has lectures that start by 8 o'clock. Is she able to do her lectures 8 p.m. to 6 p.m. comfortably, and the relationship does not affect her academics? And let's say after that 6 p.m. she has a test tomorrow. Will she be able to read comfortably and focus on her academics comfortably such that the relationship will not affect her academics? I leave it for you to judge. Do you think an 18-year-old can have that academic maturity? I leave it for you again. So, fourthly, on maturity, I also want to ask concerning spiritual maturity. Can an 18-year-old handle what it takes to be in a relationship? Remember that whoever it is you follow, you carry whatever it is that is going on in their lives. Whoever it is you join yourself with, you begin to carry what they are carrying. For example, if that boy you want to go out with, if his normal life is to have nightmare every night, what happens is that when you join yourself to him, when you come into a relationship with him, that thing begins to pass into you. Before you know, you start having nightmares. What of battles from their home? What of battles from their family that they are going through? When you join yourself with somebody, their result becomes your result. Are you ready at 18 to handle that? Are you ready? Are you spiritually mature to pray and fast and stand in the gap for that person and stand in the gap for yourself so that you are strong enough to resist the enemy, right? So I leave the question of maturity, and I'm sure there are many other areas we can look at concerning maturity, many areas. Now, let me go to my next point. Maturity was my number one, now number two. For an 18-year-old to go into a relationship, my question is, what is the purpose of the relationship? So that 18-year-old needs to ask herself or himself, why am I getting into this relationship? What's the purpose? What's the purpose? Why? Why? Because your why will determine a lot of things. And until you sit down and define that why, you may just be roaming about in circles. So know your why. Why am I getting into this relationship? Is it to have someone to call my boyfriend? Is it to have someone I can walk down the street with? Is it to have someone I can introduce to my friends? Is it to have someone that I would just be able to lean on, someone to caress, or someone to kiss, or someone to cuddle? Why am I going to this relationship? What is the purpose? Is to have someone to just be my friend, or is to have someone to just be telling me I love you, I care for you, for someone to be telling you you are beautiful, you are handsome, you are this, you are that, someone to compliment you, or an 18-year-old you want to get married? What is the purpose for your relationship at 18? You need to examine your why, and I think that is very critical. Until you know your why to an extent, you don't have any business with relationships until you know your why. And your why must be solid. Your why must be solid. Why do you want to go into a relationship? Some guys just want to go into a relationship for fun, for sex, for free touching, free cuddling, free kissing, So you need to ask yourself, why am I going into this relationship? And I think that is very critical. So ask yourself and align your purpose. Align your purpose with that relationship. Okay, so number 3 point. When do you want to get married? When do you want to get married? Do you want to get married at 18? Do you want to get married at 20? You want to get married at 21? I know for some of you will be like, not now, and all that. Is normal for you to feel that way. But if you are getting into a relationship at 18 and you don't have plans to get married till 25, that's some 7-year gap. What are you doing in a relationship? It's still bringing it back to the purpose question. What are you doing in a relationship at 18 if you plan to get married at 25? If you plan to get married at 23, what are you doing in a relationship at 18? Because long relationships will also determine, or will also influence your resistance to sex, your resistance to things you shouldn't do, right, in a relationship. So it's important that you define when you are going to get married. And so that would also begin to define what you do now. You know you're going to get married when you're 27 or 26. Why are you getting into a relationship at 18? You think you can maintain this relationship from now to the next 10 years or 5 years or 7 years or 3 years? And you feel that that person you are maintaining a relationship with, does the person have the same, calendar with yours? For example, I spoke to some young people recently, and I spoke to the guys first, and the guys, they were about 18. All of them, guys and girls, they were all about 18. So these guys love the girls, they like the girls like the boys and all that. And they were thinking about going into a relationship. So I asked the guys, I said, when do you want to get married? The closest or the earliest answer I got was 25. And they are 18 right now. And that's 25. So I asked him, 18 and 25, that's some 7 years apart. Do you want to keep this girl for the next 7 years? And they were like, And that's what happens most time. It happens all the time. Do you want to keep this girl from now till 25? And he goes, he's not sure. And so I asked the girls, so at 18, you want to get into a relationship, right? Yeah, it's nice. We'll be careful and all that. So I say, okay. So when do you want to get married? And you hear 23, 25. Then I ask, why do you want to get into a relationship now when you want to marry at 23 or 25? That's on 5 years. Now, you are planning for 5 years. He's planning for 7 years' time. Some are planning for 10 years' time. So if your timing in your mind, you are looking at, in 5 years, I should be married. That guy you are with is looking at, in 10 years. Your timing, your calendar don't rhyme. That's already a recipe for failure. That's already telling you that it's not going to work, right? So you have to define your why, my number 2 question. Then 2, your when. If you don't know these questions, then why are you in a relationship? And lastly, I'd like to ask, or put my 4th point, values. That person you're going into a relationship with at 18, do you guys have the same values? And what do I mean by values? I mean your belief system. Your belief system, and it's powerful. Some people have a lackadaisical attitude towards life. They feel like anything that happens, we are good. What will be. Let's just be doing, let's just be going. They're not visionary, they don't plan for their future. And to an extent, there are people like that, and that's normal, right? At some point, they will get it right and adjust. And there are other people that are very intentional because of where they're coming from. They have regimented lifestyles because of their home training and all. Now, if you are going to go into a relationship with someone that has a different value system with yours, how do you think it will work at 18? Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that? Because a lot of times people just look at, oh, I love him, he loves me, I've been crushing on him for a long time, so let's go on this relationship. But is it enough? You have to ask yourself, is this enough to sustain a relationship? And by the way, we all know sex can't sustain a relationship. It's way beyond that. Way beyond that. So ask yourself, value system. Value system. Do we think the same way? Some guys still think that when they get married, their wives must stay at home. Are you going out with such a guy? Some ladies still feel that when they get married, that's the end of life. That's where life has ended. Are you entering into a relationship with such a girl? So it's up to you at the end of the day. So now, judge for yourself. Should an 18-year-old go into a relationship? I'm waiting for your comments in the comment section below. Thank you. Okay, so just before I go, I'd like to introduce you to my book that would help you answer those questions on relationship. I have a full chapter dedicated to relationships. I would like to encourage you to get it. You can get it very easily as www.selar.co/m/blessing16. I will have those details on the screen. Please use those details and order for my book. This book is going to help you clarify that information. So see you in my next one. Bye bye.